Sports Pueblo, 1350. This is the John Wristen Show. Let's join the voices of the pack, Jim Brooks and Joe Cervi, along with CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves head coach, John Wristen.
And good evening, everybody. Welcome. Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House, final edition of the year for the Car Pros John Wristen Show. Jim Brooks along with the Chieftains, Joe Cervi, and the head coach, John Wristen, for you one final time here tonight to celebrate this great season again for the Thunderwolves. Didn't quite turn out the way we wanted it to Saturday, but Johnny, that was a fantastic ball game Saturday to finish things off. I know you're still probably grumbling about it when you look at the film and stuff.
Well, you know, it's one of those things that it was a great football game if you didn't care who won or lost. And too bad I'm totally invested in the Thunderwolves winning. And this has been a tough 48 hours trying to move on. And I just feel like, you know, we sold out. And proud of it. I'm still trying to come up with words to describe how you feel, and I told Joe on Monday, I just feel raw. You know, Our kids gave it everything you got, and you have an opportunity to go beat a really good football team on the road and a playoff win, and we came a little bit short.
Well, it was probably the ultimate dead-even football game. When you look at it, both teams kind of mirror image. I mean, you run in the same formations a lot of the game. They flop their tight ends over to one side. You do the same thing. About the only thing missing from the ball game is if A.J. Thompson had been healthy, then he could have been the second quarterback coming in and running the little read option like they did a lot. So those kind of things really just stood out to you watching the football game. But the other thing that stood out, Johnny, was just the plays of the game. There were probably, I went back and watched the game again on Saturday. It's this deal right here, Ryan. There, let's see if we can. Let me pull it on a little bit there.
We're trying to get there.
Yeah. Oh, see, it's too hot there. But
Striker.
I'll pull this down a little bit. There you go. You're almost in there. I think it's in your wire. There we go. But 4 or 5 plays, maybe 5 plays in the ball game. We can talk about them all if you want to, and we go through the ball game here. But the first and foremost play that stood out was the 3rd down and 23. You have the play defense, break the pass up, guy's laying flat on his back, ball goes up in the air and drops straight down into his midsection for the catch. I mean, that instead of 4th and 23, they're going to be punting the ball away. You're going to get the ball back. The wind is going to be at your back shortly.
You know.
Yeah, and it's just the way things worked out. That was the ultimate play that killed you.
You know, that was such a momentum type of thing, because you look at it and we get the quarterback to throw it to no one, and he's still in his and he's scrambling around, he's still in the tackle box, but he's about 15 yards deep on it. So it really becomes that's a spot foul and you lose it down. And we had that, and then the wind, they were going to go into the wind.
Right.
That was their last play into the wind right there. And you think, all right, we got him. Our guys are excited to go in the 4th quarter and try to gain some momentum. Next play happens. Next play, the quarterback throws it up. We had great coverage. Tanner and D-Will break on the ball, and they end up hitting each other. And it causes the ball to go out of Tanner's hand. Tanner had it.
Right.
And then when that happened, Mankato's guy is just laying on the ground getting his suntan. And the ball lands right in his belly. And so that was one of the plays that you go, and you've heard me describe this all through the career here. There's anywhere from 5 to 10 plays that make a difference. And that sure changed that momentum. And then 2 plays later, they come in and run a quarterback power, and we didn't quite fit it right. And I think Coach Kreiner could have had a callback. That would have been one of them. And, you know, he's anticipating something else. And we didn't just quite fit it, but we fit, 72 other plays. Perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
And it was a great defensive battle. And then we can go on and talk about, the first half. We really gained some momentum. I thought our kicking game was outstanding. I thought that in that first half that we were able to get a 10-point lead, and we scored a touchdown going into the win, and so did they.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. We'll figure that out.
And it was just a well, I think, played game, and I was proud to be of the playoffs with our guys, and there's only one team that's going to be really happy at the end of the year.
Well, I'm sure Joe's loaded up here. First thing, let's take care of Tanner. How's he doing? I know he had a concussion. He's a little dinged up on the plane on the way home. He had his wits about him. He had a good sense of humor about it all. But how's he doing?
I think I am really, since it's been Thanksgiving break, they haven't been around much. And Nick, our trainer, and everybody's been in touch with him. He's awful sore, and we had some x-rays done and a CAT scan to make sure everything's all right. Haven't heard quite the results of that.
Okay.
He's tweeting a lot.
Okay, well, that's good.
And Tanner Draper is very much a Twitter sphere guy, and so he's back on Twitter sphere. And then the no-fly zone, it was the no-tweet zone all season, and D. Will also is another Twitter guy, and they're both back. And I love the fact that what I've seen them post, and you'll appreciate this as a mentor to them, is they're grateful.
Right.
Everything that they've been posting this week has been thanking people and thanking followers and thanking coverage and thanking highlights. And when they make a play, thanks for the guys blocking for me, or thanks for my teammate for locking down the other side. So it's been more of that, and I think that's just a testament to those guys.
Well, we had some young guys playing that secondary, and you wouldn't know they were young guys. Right. But they got a bond, and that secondary was pretty awesome this year. Coach Leamy did a wonderful job of leading them, putting them in position to be successville, and whether they're in Twitter sphere, is that where?
Yeah, I call it the Twitter sphere.
Twitter sphere. So
Tweetsville.
Johnny, he used to tweet a little bit. Now it's just more little coaching clinic things, or
he's
something.
A retweeter.
Yes, he doesn't much come out and say, he doesn't call anybody out on Twitter, which it would be really fun if he didn't. But we talk about Tanner Draper, and I call him the crash test dummy. He played, and it's hard to say this, but he played his best, if not his best game ever, one of his best games ever on Saturday.
Well, he was that center fielder that you need.
Yeah.
And he was from sideline to sideline, and he made a couple great plays on the ball, and he's a special player, and so I hope he continues to grow and continues to get the direction that we need him to do. And Tanner's got a lot of neat things going on in his life.
He's going to have a kid. He mentioned to us in post game he's waiting a baby, and he's just a fun person to be around, and he likes to talk baseball. He likes to talk football, like other people's football, and he plays the game with a little bit of an edge, kind of goofy edge. But you look at how big he is as a safety, and boy, you think of the safeties that have been through this program the last 10 years, and then you look at his size and go, wow, that's the kind of size safety that makes a difference.
Well, he's just got so much range, but and he's just a unique kid. He's a real big hockey buff too, and he follows the Stars, Dallas, but he's really a San Jose Shark fan, and I can't. I don't know why. I mean, he's from Amarillo.
Yeah, don't question.
I think he's one of those that really likes the color of
the logo, right? So he likes the logo.
But anyway, he's quite the sports fan, and I'm proud of what he's grown, and proud of what he's doing in the classroom, and I'm proud of his maturity, and he's going to be one heck of a player for us.
Well,
he is one heck of a player.
You got the break early on. You get the field goal because you're taking advantage of field position, but then you got the break going into the win when Tanner made the interception, so you get that score going into the win. That looked like a huge bonus at the time to go up 10. But then you had to play the rest of that quarter out into the win, and your defense came up huge the entire quarter. Did get the roughing call, which was border. I mean, that was.
I didn't see it because I was watching the ball.
I don't know if he hit him in the head or what.
If they called it on Michael or Brandon or Brandon.
Plus, we were having a little issue ourselves in the booth. We had a late hit ourselves. knocking us off the air. But at that moment when the
we didn't see the play, that second part of that play.
Well, it was Brandon came free and was at the quarterback, and so we tried to eliminate helmet-to-helmet targeting. We try to not hit him in the chest when you're going to get there, and so he kind of led with his hand. And I thought that was the most well officiated game I've been in a long time.
By far.
And I think if I had one question on a couple calls, that was definitely one of them, because it really gave them. It was third down. Yeah, it was game changer. And they weren't going to kick a field goal at that point.
Not from there.
And so that changed the whole field position. And then 4 plays later in that drive, and this is all where Jaden Garcia has the ball in his hands on the flat, and he might go.
Yeah,
and
no
score.
doubt.
And so those are the plays that happen that you don't make that affect the outcome of the game. And that's why you got to play a full 60 minutes, and you never know when those plays are going to happen. And we're all disappointed in that. But I thought Brandon's call was really a ticky-tack foul in that type of game.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, it was out at around the 33, I think it was, so it would have been a 50-yard field goal. But the win, not only was it downwind, that's why I thought Mitch Carter's field goal in the first quarter, that 45-yarder, that was one of the greatest kicks I think I've ever seen, because you got to worry about it's downwind, but the wind's quartering, so he more or less had to start it off, I think, outside the uprights, if I had to think about it, and hit a little cut or a little fade, like a golfer hitting a little fade into there. Either that or power hook to keep from the wind from taking it.
I think he drew it just right. Okay, and he started right. I said, make sure you don't leave it out of the uprights in warm-ups. And I said, you know where the wind, you see the way it's coming off the flag and how strong it is or how weak it is when you're getting ready to kick it. And I agree with that first kick was really, you go, wow, that's a special athlete making a special play. And yeah, I'm calling that kicker an athlete, because it's one heck of a he made a play to get us 3-0, and at that time we were going to win the ball game 3-0. And I was really proud of the way he went and kicked on that one. And then the game winner was really another one of those that you go, God, you just don't take it for granted, as you're saying. And we're on the right hash, and he makes it through. And so he was big in that day.
And we kind of backtrack. We get the lead to 10-0. They get back into the ball game before going into halftime. They get the field goal. Then the third quarter, they're doing all right. They get the game to 10-6. But it seems like the defense kept making some good plays. The wind just started. It really deteriorated, it seemed like, there for a little bit. I know Tanner was trying to hit some punts through there. And then the one punt I thought was one of the key plays of the game is one of those punts he hit too good.
Right.
Is when you had a chance to pin him deep. And he knifed that spiral right through the wind, and it went into the end zone. So you're only going to get a net 20. If he can just get it down there inside the 10 somewhere, then you might be in business. Then you're going to flip the field, and then you're going to be down when you might be in really great shape.
In those games, you're playing the yardage. You're playing the field position back and forth. And, going back to the first half, is that when we got the ball, and we scored that touchdown on the win. I mean, I think Michi did a great job. We were all
huge
all blocking, and we were targeted right. But the difference is that linebacker and that safety fit inside, and we were able to wall it. That created the 7-yard run.
Well, we saw the hole open. Jim and our angle was perfect to watch it. Just you had the heavy set and just the kick out, and it was like, that's as good as you had anything blocked all day.
Oh, one of those things is that after that score, in my mind, I go, God, if we can get one more score, if we can get a 3-score game, that's different.
Yeah.
It's a difference, and we came up a little short on that.
I thought 10-0 was enough, and I in those conditions with those two defenses, I thought 10-0 was enough. And you never stop coaching, you never stop playing, you never stop writing, you never stop broadcasting, but people don't understand how bitter the wind was, and how bad the conditions were, and how tough the wind was, and a playoff atmosphere. on the road, and nothing was easy. And your guys, but so I thought when they got up the 2 scores, that's enough. But that's how good Mankato was. I mean, their defense, hey, as good as CSU Pueblo's defense has been all year, and even that day, they were pretty salty.
Yeah, I think the front 7 was as big, as strong as, and I don't know if they're as fast as anybody, but they still were well coached. They did a great job of attacking us, and we were able to just, when you only get 5 first downs, you're kind of really disappointed in that whole deal.
All right, we're going to take a timeout here. We are at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Final Car Pros John Wristen show of the year. Come on out and join us. Celebrate with us afterwards. We got the good stuff out front. Got the pork rinds tonight.
See the pork rinds, breadsticks, pizza, caprese.
It's good. I'm all looking forward to it. Come on and join us for the rest of the show. You can listen to the show in here, or come on and join us afterwards. We'll celebrate a little bit as we get ready for Thanksgiving. Come back after this timeout. We'll talk more about the game on Saturday. We'll also transition to 2018. That all comes your way next. It is the Car Pros John Wristen Show. We are at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo 1350.
Welcome back. Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. Big John Kelly over looking for cheese curds, Johnny. They're not here. They're nowhere to be found. We got pork rinds and this pizza, this chicken pizza with the, must be a little bruschetta and tomatoes on there. That is nice. Really like that. Last week I was, I had the pineapple pizza. That was good. Well, you can't go wrong, can you? Here?
No, it's pretty good food. We have to thank Ryan and Chris and everybody at Thunder Zone Pizza. This was our first year here, and I always look at Johnny. We come a long way from the corner. We sat in the dark that first year and kind of felt our way through how to do some of this stuff. And now you come out here and the place is packed every Wednesday, and Tundra's in the house every Wednesday. And
I tell you that Tundra missed her parents. And when she saw her parents on Saturday, she was howling and happy, and you could just see that. I wish my kids would have that same effect on me. I know.
You don't feed them like this.
She was so excited, she just kept howling. And, it was really cool to see.
It kind of took the bitterness out of the wall, coming to the airport, and there's Tundra howling away. Doesn't care. Tundra is happy no matter what. And was happy to see her pack and her parents.
I'm glad it took that bitterness away.
Yeah, I try to explain to people, I've been back a few days, and John and I talked after the game. We were kind of in a room by ourselves or in a hallway by ourselves, and John didn't have the heavy coat and the glove and the masks in there. He was in the Under Armour cold weather gear or whatever, but I've never seen your face so red. Windburn, sunburn, just pissed off, and I wondered how long it took you to thaw out.
Oh, I was good. I think, when you're coaching and doing something, you don't really realize the cold, but I had a couple long sleeves on. I had a nice fleece from Under Armour by Benefit Brokers,
Oh, there you go. Get the plug and the plug. Nice.
Well, it was, and that really. I had a bunch of other stuff on the sideline ready to go. I'm telling you. But we ordered this warm skin. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but we ordered this warm skin, this cream, and you rub it on like Vaseline to cut the wind, and I put that all over my face and ears. And the kids on Friday night were out there practicing, and I don't know if you saw the pictures, but we were out there practicing at 4, and so we brought up the warm skin. They wanted to see how it felt. They're rubbing it, and so they took their shirts off and they're practicing. And
Keith Head was a thing of beauty running around there. That's a big guy.
Oh, it's a beautiful body by Keith.
It's a body by Bud.
He had the warm skin. He's got a little insulation though too.
But our guys, it was kind of fun. And so you want the kids to enjoy it. You don't want to walk around uptight and do those things. And I hope those kids enjoyed that experience in a sense that I want to go back and I want to do it better, and then I want to continue to go win the last game, and I want it to be that enjoyable for them. And
we didn't feel, at least from our end and what we saw, and even after, this was a revenge game for them. This was just did you feel that with Todd? Or I mean, it didn't have that, you beat us for the national championship, we're here to kick your ass. It didn't have that, but I mean, it was still a good football game. But that rival, that storyline never really played out.
It never really was a factor. I think, if it was the next game, it was in the following year, I think it would be a different story. But I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think our guys are really excited about playing at the playoff level, playing again. Our kids were focused, and they sold out. It was really impressive. Whether that revenge or playing Mankato or whatever, our kids just wanted to play somebody in the playoffs, and they happened to be Mankato, and they gave it their best effort.
Now, there's a lot of decisions in the game too. I mean, there were none that were really just I'd like to have that call over again. But some of the decisions you had to make in that game on the fly had to be tough in your mind. Man, Joe and I it sounds ludicrous to think about when you've got the ball on your own 20-yard line and you got a yard to go. And I'm just spitballing up there. I said, they ought to go for it here, John. Joe's like, well, you're crazy. I go, no, you're going to punt it into the wind and might get a 15-yard punt where this wind is howling. So do you go for it? They've used up 2 of their timeouts. Man, wouldn't you just rub salt in their wounds if you went for it and got the yard, and then all of a sudden you flip the feet and then you're going with the wind? I mean, that could have really – but then again, you're thinking, I cannot go for it here and then give them all that momentum. And then it turned out the punt only went about 13 yards, so they get it to 34. So it was basically a first down. You're gambling, but at the time you're thinking, did that decision cross your mind? Do I go for it here?
There was quite a few of those that went through because you needed 4 downs to make a first down.
Right. Well, Joe and I, first downs felt like touchdowns in this game.
Oh, shoot. But the one that I thought we made was right at halftime, where it was 4th down, and they had to call timeout to make us punt and win. And I said, well, let's run a play. Well, I don't necessarily want to run a play in case something was happen. So I faked the punt. And
one guy.
Oh.
But then they called the hold, but anyway.
But that was a bad call too. But we faked the punt, so I didn't have to punt. And that got us back where we only had to take a knee, and we ran the clock out, and that's what we wanted on that. But there was quite a few of those little decision-making right there. You had to use your timeouts a little bit different than you would normally because of the wind, and you wanted them to change the field position. Again, it's the manage of the field position. And how about, I believe it was on the drive, right before Tanner intercepted it, but they punted, and the guy put it up by you guys up in the press box.
Yeah, the old shankaroo.
And that was the wind behind him.
Yeah.
But the ball blew. How far did it blow up to the stands?
Somebody had a headache up there in the upper reaches of that stands.
So when the ball went, I go, keep going.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
Well, people don't understand how when it came to the overtime coin flip, you won the toss, played defense. Todd goes, we're going into the wind. And that's a team that plays there. That's a team that plays to their strength of in this wind. We know how to play in this wind.
Plus, they got a kicker that had a howitzer.
But he did. And the one kick he made that was good going into with the wind didn't get 10 feet off the ground. It barely cleared the crossbar.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was this perfect kicker, but powerful leg.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, in those decision makings going into overtime, you go, what do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, standards, you win the toss, you go on defense. But the reality of it, you knew you were going to get the ball, right?
At
some point.
So do you say, I want the wind on my back right when you go offense first to go put them a touchdown? And that really thought, and then when I saw, when they switched, I go, that son of a gun.
Yeah.
and I go, they're really going to go in the wind.
Yeah.
And they said it's going to come down to one guy.
But the other thing going into the win, it was as much a confidence of his defense. I mean, they had played as good a defensive game against you guys as anybody that we've seen in a long time. So that's having some faith in that defense.
Well, I also understand that he said it that he's going to run the ball 3 times and
kick.
Yep. And sure enough, that's exactly what they did, and they were successful at it. And our guy gave one heck of a kick, and it didn't
plenty of leg.
Yeah, plenty of leg.
The interesting thing, if you notice on the film, and I didn't realize it on the film because I couldn't quite tell, but as you know, you both are golfers, and when you hit a good shot in the wind and you hit it, it stays true.
Right, cuts right through.
And it stays true, and sometimes it hovers like a helicopter, and then it gets to the distance that it's supposed to. And then and so on their kick, that guy hit it, and it went straight up and hovered, and then on the film and the angle, if this glass is the crossbar, it just comes down barely on the yellow part that holds it on the backside.
Yeah, he barely made it.
And you go, holy smoke! And then Mitch hit a great kick, and his game
caught a bad gust,
and it caught that gust. It really did. And it knocked it dead right.
Yeah.
But his fell even further, and he had a little further kick, but it just didn't stay true in the wind.
Yeah, it was Matt. You gotta get some more. We'll talk about that when we come out of this break.
Questions.
Yeah, we got questions. We're gonna take it. Hey, we got this. We got a format, Joe. That's why I sit here.
But they usually don't text me.
We got a timeout. We're gonna come back after this timeout.
Make sure everybody has your number to text.
That's 719-671-7574. Oh, 719-671-7574. Texas question. We got something lined up. Joe's got something lined up. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit more about the overtime. We'll talk about the questions. We'll talk about the future of the program. That all comes your way next. It is the Car Pros John Wristen Show at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House on Fox Sports Pueblo. And welcome back. Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House, Car Pros John Wristen Show. Jim Brooks along with the Chieftain Joe Cervi and head coach John Wristen with you here tonight. John, it's time for some questions. You ready? I don't want to talk about the overtime anymore. It hurts. It hurts so much.
Well, we're going to get some questions about that, and that's okay.
Main area of recruitment for next year. A listener says it's a great defensive game, awesome defense. What are you looking for now? You got a transition.
Well, I think that we're going to go try to find a couple JC offensive linemen. I think that we have some really good young players in our program, and I think we're just going to find the best football players we can. I'm happy about our progression at our quarterback position. I'm happy about our young wide receivers. I will always recruit defensive linemen. I'm going to make sure that we upgrade our size and our speed and try to do that in our recruiting.
Explain to listeners how valuable junior college offensive linemen are. I mean, that's the gold standard.
Well, if you can find the right ones, it's unbelievable. But we do have some talent in our offensive line, but they're young.
You just need some help to.
I just want to help this transition to grow a little bit and let them mature a little bit before you have to throw them out to the fire. And so I think we got to also go get some tight ends. We got to get recruit. Really 4 guys back in the secondary. I think our young linebackers are going to be really good. And so we got to get a punter. There's one kid around here that I think is pretty awesome. And so there's really a lot of talent in Pueblo this year, as obviously there are 2 teams playing, and one team had been playing in for state championship all the time, and I can't be any more.
You can't say who.
I can't say who, but there is quite a few. I wouldn't be surprised. There's probably 8 to 10 kids here in the city of Pueblo that I think are really good football players.
You ready for the hot mic?
I have to be.
It's
ready.
smoldering.
It's
all right. Pick up the hot mic. I don't know who this is. We'll have her introduce herself.
It's Mama Wolf.
Mama Wolf.
Wow. Watch out.
I thought it was a leopard.
Watch out. Yeah, I could see that.
So they say in this sport that it's faith first, family, and then football. So I think it's important that we recognize Pastor Steve Chavez from Praise Assembly, who's been leading the chapel and all of that during our games. Tim Brotherton with Fellowship of Christian Athletes for being a big part of that. For family, you've got parents, you've got kids, you have wives and girlfriends, and everybody who kind of comes together to help hold the pieces together. So thank you, families, and all of that. And football. So our extended family, which is all the players, all their family, all the people who become a part of our life, and we become a part of their life over a 4 to 6 year period, is amazing. What do you think about that?
I think it was very well said and very
John,
impressive.
I almost went all Larry King there. What's your question? But I let her go.
She's so true, and I think sometimes you get so tunnel vision, you forget about all the people that affect the growth of this program and the growth of these kids. And Tim Brotherton and Pastor Steve Chavez are such great people, and I value their sounding board to our kids to go talk to, and all the families that have all been a part of us for the last 5-6 years, and to see their families grow together is really why we do those things. And
how about your super fans?
Our super fans that didn't quite make it to Mankato, but we'll be okay. Someone had to put their foot down. Oh, she didn't. And
enough's enough.
Enough's enough, guys. But I'm going to see them in Kansas City, so they are the super fans. And that's Ted and Wayne. They've been at every home game every game for the last 4 years. Last 3 years, and they couldn't quite pull it off last week. But
that's why you lost.
So we identified the reason right there. But as Rochelle was talking, or Mama Wolf was talking, was that Saturday we had such a great crowd. Our crowd,
it was good.
Our crowd was loud. It was motivating. It was neat to hear that support, and our president of the university was there, and he was cheering, and everybody, and it was really, really, really awesome to see that fat heads of the seniors that Mama Wolf organized, and the bags that the wives all make for the guys. I mean, it's really a neat thing that sometimes I overlook all the little things that really make this a great program, and I appreciate Rochelle bringing that up.
Okay, I know Joe's got a couple lined up. I got one more here, and then we'll get Joe's questions that he's got into him. Do you see any coaching changes from the staff right now, or is it still in flux? Or and then listener wants you to pick a winner between Pueblo West and Pueblo South. Duh, we're not going to do that, right? Run a great game to go into triple overtime at Invesco Field between West and South. That'd be awesome.
Well, yes.
And somebody win on a fluky 2-point conversion.
So, I think right now the coaching change, you never really know. You never know who's going to get this job.
Yeah, usually they land in your lap, don't they? It's like, oh, okay, now I got to go find somebody.
Yeah, I'm usually the last guy to know what's going on, but I'm proud of our coaching staff. I'm proud of what we've been able to accomplish this year. I thought it was a much more a better improvement from what we had in 16.
Okay, Joe.
This is Coach Wristen from Billy the Looper wants to know if the kick in OT in Minnesota resembled the 8-iron from them in the middle of the fairway in the Hackers tournament when you yanked it into the next fairway during the shootout to win your second title.
Well, it really it really didn't, because I missed mine left and he missed his right. So, but I had a chance to make that mistake a correction. But where I put it, I don't think even Jack Nicklaus could have even understood what it was like. And so I think that, you have a chance. You have to go take that shot. You got to go make it if you're a champion. And Mitch Carter's a champion. Coach Wristen in the golf game's a little bit short.
This one's from Kevin Shriver. You know, he travels a lot of the games, a big booster, and you mentioned it a little bit. You lost a lot to graduation along the line. What does the line coming back look like? I know you said you want to go get some junior college players, but what do you got coming back that's already here?
Well, we really got we recruited 5 really good high school offensive linemen, and they're in our program. And I really think that it takes 2 years, meaning the redshirt year, and then being in the mix a little bit to be able to understand that. And so I think we got 5 really young kids. We were able to get our 2s some reps this year, and I'm excited about it. I'm worried about trying to replace our 2 kingpin tackles that we've been there. I think Corbin Feenster playing at center has played at such a high level that we got guys that can get in there and do it. And you know, there's going to be a difference. It's like, all right, I've been a backup, I approach it. Now you're going to be you have a chance to be the guy, and so that's a chance you've got to step on the accelerator and make sure you go all gas and no brakes. And that's what I want to see these guys do in the off season. And I'm anxious to see what that is, and I'm going to have a better description of that after spring football.
When you got size, though, people don't understand. These are young guys that work with the starters, and you know, Ty and Keith Head, that's just as big as you've had in the program. But you go look at the offensive line group collectively, there's size there, and those guys are only going to get bigger, faster, stronger.
Well, I think that their development in this, really, it's the growth and maturity of a guy to have a sense of urgency about you. And a sense of urgency about developing your character, your work ethic, and what the demand of excellence that is created. Because I want them to be elite, and I don't want to settle. And some guys just want to go through, not the motions, but it takes a different level to understand that. And I think when you're young, you got to buy into that process. And everybody says, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do it." But now let's see it. Let's see, because your actions speak so loud, I can't hear your words. And everybody talks about it. Now you got to be judged by your actions, whether you want to be an elite status. And you know the best thing about that? It takes no talent. It takes no talent to come to work and put your head down and try to be successful each day.
All right, we got another one comes in. So we got 3 or 4 more. We're going to take this break. We'll come back after the timeout. We'll rapid fire through the 4 we got. We'll put a bow on this season. It all comes your way next. We're at the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. It is the Car Pros John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo.
The John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350.
And welcome back. Final segment. 2017 version of the Car Pros John Wristen Show here from the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House. And John, when we left out, we got more questions here. They're coming in fast and furious, so we've only got about 7 minutes and 50 seconds to get them in, but we're going to give it a shot. Uncle Charlie checked in.
There first? Okay.
Yeah, Uncle Charlie just said needs some advice, because we've already addressed some of the things he talked about, the overtime. He needs some advice in calming his wife, because she really had her heart set on going to Kansas City. Now, you're going to go to Kansas City anyway, right, for the title game, because there's meetings and stuff. So I guess Uncle Charlie could go out there and pal around with you.
Well, our guys that haven't missed a game in 3 years, they're headed to Kansas City. They ride the train out there, and they have a great time. And last year I was with the national committee, and I turn around and I look, and there's guys wearing Thunderwolf and stuff, and I had to look twice, and those are my guys that hadn't missed a game in 3 years.
Okay, any seniors have draft potential or pro potential that you think? Who are some of those that we could see at the next level?
I think Ty has an opportunity. I think Keith is going to get into camp. I know I'm going to forget somebody, but I think Ty and Keith, and then, I hope Josh. Some guys really like Josh Croy, and then some guys don't. So
he's undersized.
He's just a little bit undersized. Yeah, so But those guys like how our guys have been productive in the NFL at that position.
Okay, Joe, you got something there?
Yeah, I got a question. This is from the Gopher, and he wants to know about that halfback pass in Texas, how that changed your season.
Well, it should be nominated as Idiot of the Year award. Who made that call?
Now let's set the stage for that.
So.
Well, you were driving to go up three scores?
Yeah, it was 21-10 at the time.
Yeah, so you're going
21-9.
Going up 3 scores, and the offense coach calls halfback pass.
Or might have been 28-6. I don't know. It was you were up 2, going to go up 3. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought we had a perfect situation to dial up a halfback pass, and I think that's the last trick play we ran all season.
Yeah, I think it was.
And,
except the fake punts.
There's only one guy who made that call, and that's Coach Wristen, and I deserve to be in the Idiot of the Year award. And that's a nice text by the Gopher. He's one of these guys that just pop up, say something, and go right down underground, and that's a big hole he has to hide under.
Stir that pot.
He can't wear a baseball hat because there's not one big enough. Maybe that's called a varmint.
A varmint with the.
Maybe that's a varmint.
With the hat size.
Exactly. Well, Ken Franek checking in, been with us from the very start, one of our most loyal Thunderwolves fans. He doesn't have a question, just wants to say, nice season, Coach.
I appreciate it, Ken. Thank you very much.
And that's a nice way to put it. It was a very nice season. What are your Thanksgiving plans from another listener? Usually you're doing game planning and stuff. Now this year,
I'm going to go to Mom and Dad's house, and my brother-in-law, he's smoking a turkey, and I'm going to deep fry a turkey. And,
nice.
And so we're going to have a lot of pumpkin pie with a little bit of whipped cream and green bean casserole and all the fixings. And I'm going to play a little cards, and spades is my game on Thanksgiving, and winner take all.
There you go. Get your money out. Get it ready. Joe, you got some final ones there? I'm out. I finally used up here.
It just, after the game, we were in the tunnel and the long trek to the locker room, and I thought it was nice. Ronnie was there.
Yeah.
John's brother Ron and I, we go back a long way, and we're friends way before we were friends. And just the brother hug after a game like that was very touching, knowing these two guys. So it was a little bit out of character, but
I think my brother knew he didn't want a hug.
Yeah.
But I needed a hug from him.
Right. So John needed a hug from somebody, and Mom wasn't there. So I feel bad because I love this team. We go through these teams, and this team's a lot of fun to be around. Yeah. And I've said that in my column, and I feel like they should still be playing. I know you do too, but it was a great year. It was a great year, and nobody lost faith. You had the stars had to align on the last week of the season, and they did, and nobody lost faith, and you got to live another game.
Well, I think there's a great lesson to be learned in this, and in that I hope I can carry this over and realize every second of every minute of every period in practice has to count. And you have to treat that as understanding that you have to be perfect in Division II football.
Right.
And I never ask our guys to be perfect. But if I can ask them to play as hard as they can, as we did Saturday, and we can look up and we gave it our all, I can accept that.
Yeah.
This game, this playoff game is really it's raw, and I don't know. It's going to take a while to get over, and I hope our guys understand that. And my job is to get us to a level of we got to get to a level where we have consistent play. And I thought we did that, but we also had 2 stumbles that really affect our season, and you're battling. And so I think that falls on me. It falls me on as a head coach trying to do those things.
Now, do you pull for Mankato because of what you experienced last week? Do you want to see them go as far as you can, or do you care now?
I don't really care.
You know what I'm saying?
It doesn't matter to me. I want to go. I don't know. I don't have a great answer for that, except I wish them the best. I really think Texas Commerce is going to make a run at it. If you're asking me who I think is good enough.
Well, that'll be good because
that's where
we go there
next year.
We go week 4 next year, Coach. Way to pick them.
About 30 seconds, John, for you. Just wrap it up. Just say what you want to say to the fans and everybody out there.
Well, I appreciate everybody's support. I thought, again, we stubbed our toe, and our kids had to learn about the trust, faith, and patience about being our core values. And they had to believe that I thought we had a chance. We continued to do that. I thought defensively was fun, having some new changes at the start of the season and new ways to do some different things. And you had some different results, and it was really, really nice to be able to see that. I thought that our team overcame really some great injuries over the year. We lose Bernard McDonald in the first half of the game, and then you lose your top 2 quarterbacks at that time. And to show a kid like Rex Dawson, to show his character, the way he stepped in and helped lead us. And then to all the fans that followed us and all the families that were all part of us, I want to say thank you. And I can't wait for the 2018 season to start. And I really appreciate being the head coach here, and go Pack.
We can't either. And John, we thank everybody that comes on out. The Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House, the whole staff here taking care of us all season long. We thank them. We thank the Car Pros for sponsoring the show, and that's been a great relationship we've had with them, and we look forward to many to come. Caitlin Norton's been our producer and engineer all season long. Joe Cervi's my partner. For the head coach, John Wristen, I'm Jim Brooks. Basketball, December 1st. It'll be the Thunder Zone Pizza and Tap House pregame show. Can't wait. Let's go Pack, right?
Go Pack.
Thanks for listening to the John Wristen Show on Fox Sports Pueblo, 1350. Tune in again next week at the same time for all things CSU Pueblo Thunderwolves football. Only on Fox Sports 1350, KCCY Pueblo.